Hi, this is Myong Choi of Nonstop Honolulu. You've probably noticed by now that we've added some movie content to the website, which I'm personally very excited about because, well, it gives me something to write about. And I've posted up a few reviews. Hopefully you read them and found them somewhat useful. But every now and then, I'd like to supplement those reviews with some additional movie content like today's Fab 5 list. Now, my Fab 5 lists will be lists of my top 5 films in any given category, and today's category will be my Fab 5 films of all time. Now, on this list, you're not going to find your traditional Oscar-winning films like Titanic or Shakespeare in Love or Driving Miss Old Lady, which are all fine films, but my list will consist of films that more resonated with me and are films that I can watch over and over again because they are simply awesome. So here are my Fab 5 films of all time, starting with number 5, The Karate Kid. Now, the reason why I love The Karate Kid so much is that it's probably the underdog story of my generation. I mean, it's a story of a young kid moving from Jersey to LA. He just wants to make some new friends, but Cobra Kai, they ain't having it, so they start beating on him. So he becomes friends with the local Japanese maintenance guy, Mr. Miyagi, who not only teaches him about karate, but also about life. Now, not only is the story really uplifting and inspirational, but it is just so quotable. I mean, who can forget wax on, wax off, and get him a body bag, yeah! Or look, I, always look, I. So that's why The Karate Kid is my number 5 film of all time. And number 4 is Pretty Woman. Now, believe it or not, I do enjoy romantic comedies, and Pretty Woman is still my favorite one to date. Julia Roberts in the lead role, of course, is just so excellent, and her chemistry with Richard Gere is undeniable, of course. And come on, who hasn't pictured themselves walking down Rodeo Drive shopping like that, huh? Yeah, I think we've all done it. That's why Pretty Woman is my number 4 film of all time. And number 3, say hello to my little friend. Yup, Scarface, baby. And it's funny, if you ask a lot of Korean guys over the age of 35 what their favorite movie is, a lot of them will tell you that it's Scarface. And the reason why that is, I'm not quite sure, but maybe it's because, it's a story of an immigrant coming to the United States, nothing to his name, pays his dues, makes a lot of sacrifices, and ultimately becomes a huge success. Granted, it's by becoming a murderous drug lord, but like Tony Montana says in the film, in this country, first you need the money. You get the money, then you get the power. You get the power, then you get the women. Maybe that's what it's all about, right? Scarface, my number 3 film of all time. And number 2 is Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Now, I love gangster movies, and Goodfellas is my favorite gangster movie of all time. Martin Scorsese, the director, does such an excellent job of glorifying the gangster lifestyle with the whining, the dining, the money, the women, etc. And at the same time, he also portrays a negative half of the lifestyle, which is the drug overdoses, the prison time, the murders. So it's a perfectly balanced film, and of course the performances by Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Lorraine Bracco, and especially Joe Pesci in his Oscar-winning performance are all so great. So Goodfellas, my number 2 film of all time. And finally, at number 1, I have True Romance. What? Yep, True Romance. It's written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by Tony Scott. Now, I'm a big fan of Tarantino's writing, and his dialogue, again, in this film is just so brilliant. I mean, if you want to see just one example of it, watch the scene between Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken, where they're talking about the origin of Sicilians, and you will see what I mean. And, of course, Tony Scott has directed Crimson Tide, Man on Fire, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, etc. So the man definitely knows how to direct a good action movie. So when you combine Scott's visuals with Tarantino's words, I mean, it's such a perfect match. And the cast, of course, is really excellent. I mean, you got Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, you got Brad Pitt, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Dennis Hopper, Christopher Walken, you got Samuel Jackson, it's got Tony Soprano is in it. I mean, it's even got Balky in it, so you cannot go wrong with that cast. So True Romance, my number 1 film of all time. If you haven't seen it already, go and check it out. So that's it for today's Fab 5 list. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to Nonstop Honolulu for more in the future. Thanks.